Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be doing a few video walkthroughs of some of the properties that we went and took a look at last Saturday on the 13th of April 2019. My buddy and I and our realtor went through 9 different homes. I recorded 4 of these homes to kind of showcase what the conditions are, kind of narrate some of the videos here along the way. Now, 2 of these homes did have mold. My buddy hit his head on a pipe, plastic pipe. Didn't hurt him overall. And I felt nauseous coming out of one of these homes that had some mold, so I was lightheaded for the remainder of that day. So it was a pretty interesting adventure on Saturday. So if you are brand new to the channel, have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. I cover videos going over the stock market, dividends, real estate, entrepreneurship. So if you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button below. And of course, if you have any comments, questions over anything in today's video, drop it in the comment section. I read and reply to all your guys' comments. If you have multiple comments through the video you're watching, you have a question, drop it in there. I appreciate all your feedback as far as what sort of information you are looking to get from these homes. So going into the future, I can have my notepad out, going through homes, and you guys will have specific questions. You can leave it there and I can make sure I note it in the future. And if you do enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up. And let's go ahead and get into the video. So this one was one of my buddy's lists here. So we went and took a look at, it was a mixture of 4 homes on his list, 4 homes on my list, and then we ended up seeing a couple that the realtor wanted to show us. So here, we always go to the property and we always do a walkthrough on the outside. We look at the roof, we look at the flashing, we look at the curvature of the roof to make sure that it's not sagging or indenting. We also look at the electric box to make sure if the electrical has been updated or not. We look at the siding to see if it's been recently redone or if it's asbestos. Now this one we like to take a look at. It's an enclosed backyard, very nice patio, cemented patio with a nice little shack here in the back, so you can actually move your equipment back there, store your bike, bicycle, motorbike, and other equipment through here in the backyard, and also be able to have a little shack in that backyard. Now, we always like to record the roof. What are the conditions of the roof? So on the very front of the home, we did see that some of the tiles on the roof needed to be replaced, but overall, the conditions of the roof were fairly good. Here on the back, there was no indenture of any sorts. We didn't see a big sag anywhere on the roof. The tiles here all look like they've been recently either redone. Somebody just basically just go up there on the front end. I didn't make a recording of that, but there were a couple tiles there on the front end that just need to be replaced, and that was basically it. No, not a lot of roof work on this. It's always something to check to see because that can add up a couple $1,000s depending on if you have to replace a roof or just resheath it and so on. So here, I just taken a look at the siding, electrical box. I got a couple videos here of the outside. We have the crawl space down here, and this one didn't have knob and tube, but one of the other properties here that we did walk through looks like the electrical had to be updated, and I'll kind of showcase that here in just a few minutes. So we're just kind of going inside, and this isn't exactly like, if you were a first-time home buyer and you came to this home, it would not be something, as a brand new homeowner where you're trying to take appreciation for a product in a home, it wouldn't be something that you'd automatically go like, oh my goodness, I need to own this home. It's the best home. I need to buy it right away. This is probably designed more as being a rental here. So this one was bought. Looks like it was rehabbed and fixed up. You can see new carpet in. Walls have been repainted. The flooring has been put in. They've replaced the kitchen, some white cabinets. Looks like maybe a wood top there. It didn't look like granite. It looks like some sort of wood top. I can't think of the quick name. It's not granite or the other one. So washer and dryer hookups there. Washer and dryer. Access to the backyard here through the back door. Little shack here. Now this is only a half bath back here. So this is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, listed for about 120, 130. Vanity, little sort of dresser, toilet right there. Not a whole lot of space there in between. And this, you basically have to walk through the bathroom to get to this bedroom here. That little space right here, this is the actual closet. There is actually no other closet in there. And kind of an interesting setup there. Coming back out into the living room. So as soon as you walk into the home, you're immediately here in the living room. You got 2 floor heaters here, open areas. So I suppose if you wanted to, you'd have maybe a couch on this side with a TV mounted on this side. I'm not sure how this sort of room setup would be. Now here's your other bedroom right here. A little bit of shelves there on the side, the closet here in this bedroom, and the small bathroom. So here, wide vanity, toilet. Now this area here, as I try to walk through here, I could not fit with my shoulders. I have some wide shoulders here, so I took a step back and I had to do a measurement of this, kind of using just my, my elbow to the end. My elbow from my elbow to the outside of my arm is maybe a foot and a half. I'm not sure. From your elbow to your wrist is normally about a foot, and then your hand, it's another 6 inches or so. So that's about a foot and a half there. So you very small space, and you can see here that all they did here was repatch it, stuccoed it, and painted out this the stand-up shower there. Replaced the header, the thingamajig there. I can't think of the word. Basically, the headset. I think it's like a phone thing, but it's not. But that is the first property here, kind of going through and doing a little thing here of the 2-1. Now here's another property. This one was a little bit different conditions here on the outside. You can see that this one doesn't have the normal, what's it called? The normal structure. You can see here that this home is actually on some very old sort of, you can see here. Now this is standard sort of, starts with an F, foundation. You can see here's the cement foundation, but the foundation here on the left side, this is just all rocks that have been kind of sliced and put in place, and actually the house is sitting on it. So you can see how old this actual home is here. Water meter here. Now this home did have knob and tube. This is an addition here on the back with the washer and dryer. So we're taking a look at the electrical, taking a look at the siding. Looks like the siding had been updated on this home pretty recent. A little shack in the back. I think this thing looks terrible. I was actually mentioning if it would just look a lot nicer, just kind of knock it down. You can see here that this little addition in the back was basically just put in to have a washer and dryer installed. So I was just taking a look to see, what is inside there. And, I wasn't sure if it would make more sense. Kind of just knock it down and clean it up a little bit, get that junk out and just not even have that as sort of a sort of structure at all. Now kind of going inside the home here, so we started in the bathroom here on this one. We had the tub, the kitchen here, so you have the kitchen goes straight into the bathroom here, but also cuts over into the room. So here I'm just taking a look at the flooring. The vanity here needs to be replaced, tub needs to be either replaced or repainted. Everything in this home, basically interior, needs to be redone. This is a pretty substantial rehab. It is not drywall. It's actually some sort of a cemented fixture. Looks like they're adding a fence here in the backyard between this home and the other home next to it. And you can just kind of see these little sort of rooms. This of all the other ones that we actually took a look at, this one was listed down in the $50,000 range, I believe, maybe $50,000 range. So it was actually priced pretty well for what it offers. You can go in there, buy it very cheap, rip up the kitchen, replace the flooring here, add some drywall here in this back room. This was the addition that was added in, so you could enclose that water heater in there, put drywall, and make it look a lot nicer when this looks like now, and the flooring, add that in there, and you can actually set up a little area for your washer and dryer. Basically just enclose this to make it look a lot nicer than what this is. When you look at this right now, it does not look at all nice. So you would have to basically make it actually reasonable here. Kitchen flooring would basically have to get repulled after you take out all that. Carpet in here would have to get repulled. Put some vinyl quantity tile, VCT, some vinyl down. Now, kind of just checking out these rooms. So this is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath again. Kitchen with an addition in the back for that wire and dryer hookups. Now this one we saw that some of the siding, and when I pulled up the carpet here, we can see some sort of deterioration down in the under the carpets here. So I wasn't sure. It could be age, it could be termites, where we weren't really sure. We also saw a little bit of the crack in there. So maybe just from settling and how old this building is, my buddy was pointing out to them having recently patched up the roof. Maybe that was to replace the heater there, so maybe they were trying to get some cables, had to bust through that roof, and then replace the wall heater there on the side. And I believe that was the last clip of that one. So yeah, that was the last one of that one. Now we jumped into the third walkthrough here. Let's see if we can jump ahead here. There we go. Okay, I don't know, my computer just kind of froze there just for a minute here. So again, walking around the outside of this home, seeing what the conditions are of the outside, of the roof, of the chimney here on the sides, and one thing to kind of check is always the sort of the part between the roofing and the chimney sometimes needs to be replaced. I forgot what it's called, like flashing. That needs to be sort of replaced sometimes to kind of seal it, make sure that water and moisture does not go into there. Water meter there on the side. Looks like maybe what's the gas going into the going in there. So again, just kind of looking at the outside of the home here. The outside of the home didn't actually look too bad. You know, it's not asbestos. There was going to be needing, you can see the dip here on the roof. So I'm not sure if this is just addition there so that when you're going up to the door, you actually have something sort of protecting you from the weather and weather conditions and such. A little sort of storage unit on the right. So here, enclosed backyard, little storage unit lock there. So maybe they had done some sort of rehab on this home, but it a terrible looking home inside. This one actually, we found a knife stabbed into the yard. So, you know, our realtor was pretty excited. He said that comes with the home. And now this one, you're going to notice that this one has some wacky colors. So right when you get in the back here, this is the washer and dryer hookup. That's basically all that this room is. And I was going, what the heck is with these walls? The kitchen, it's just black painted cabinets. You know, basically the whole kitchen would have to be regutted. You basically have to scrape the walls too, because the walls had a very textured sort of style to them. So if you rubbed against the walls, it wasn't flat, it wasn't textured. Yeah, basically the whole kitchen here would basically have to get ripped up, pulled, scrape the wall to kind of get it down. And kind of going through here. This was a weird property here. This was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath on top. So here is the first bedroom here. Kind of going through. Now I looked down there. We actually ended up going down here in a little bit. This is the living room. I'm not sure why this is even there here in the living room. And then the other bedroom here was to the right. So that was that front door. Here's the other secondary bedroom, bathroom and such. Kind of skipping through here. I'm not sure if it's me or the video going too quickly, but this home itself did have some mold. So as we kind of crept down into the lower area here, this was a very weird setup. It had some very small rooms set up in the bottom with some kids' drawings kind of written up on the wall. You know, scratch marks down there again. Kind of a weird sort of setup here. So maybe whoever lived in this prior probably used these areas downstairs for their children and such. And here's where my buddy bonks his head. So we're kind of taking a look at what's underneath in the bottom here. Saw the water heater back there, saw some water on the floor, so we decided to go back there and check it out. As we went back there, we noticed that there was some mold on the floor. See if we can see it in the clip here. I'm not sure. Yeah, we just kind of saw it very quickly here. Let's see if I can pause. Yeah, you can't really see it there in the clip, but that white on the floor was just white mold. And then behind, as I kind of, yeah, that's all mold right here on the floor, just white mold back on the side. And then as we kind of point the camera here in the back, we can see that this is just all sorts of black mold from water just kind of constantly leaking. So here's where my buddy bashes his head into the pipe that we forget was there and went underneath. So he smacked it pretty hard. I recorded it and put it over on Instagram saying that, you know, our dark dungeon, and we just kind of wanted to get out of there as quick as possible. And whenever you're kind of going in like that and you're not really prepared to see water damage and mold and such, you don't really want to stick around it at all. So that was the third property here, and this was the last property here. That last one, the third one, wasn't really so bad as far as you couldn't really smell the mold. My realtor, he has sort of a spider sense when it comes to it. He just stayed outside of that one. This one, he didn't. None of us, well, my buddy and the realtor, as soon as they walked inside, we noticed that there was mold on the back side of the door, and they backed out right away. And of course, my dumb, my dumb self, I continued on through the home and actually ended up getting really nauseous off this specific one. You can see that they had been recently trying to do some rehab on it. So I was doing my walkthrough of the side of the home here, and I could see that there was basically a car here. They replaced the fasciating here on the side, but they didn't do any of the underwood. So that kind of stops, helps some of the deterioration. If the water runoff, it kind of hits there and kind of continues down instead of continuing to deteriorate that. But it is kind of a weird, kind of why do it if you're not going to go 100%? Why bother? You're rehabbing it and you're making it pretty, but you're not making it, where it should actually be. So let's see here if I can go to the next one. So yeah, he's just kind of pointing out how they replaced the board, but they didn't do any sort of the under. He's just kind of pointing out some of the areas that he sees, and we already saw underneath, the conditions here. They didn't really replace any of the underwood. He said that it would help with the outwood here that they replaced, that they did put in. It would help kind of halt and slow down the deterioration of this underwood, but it was just, it's just sort of a weird instance there. So going into the home, very low roof. You can see some water damage on the roof itself. My buddy was mentioning that it looks like it was sagging. So of course, I turn around and take a look at what he is taking a look at after I look in the kitchen. And here you can notice that there's actually like a slope here. So if you're looking at this, and you'll notice that slopes down. And then of course I look at the mold above the door frame. So here they had guys working in this specific home, mold in there, water. There's actually, you can smell it in the air. So that's why our realtor was standing outside. The kitchen would basically have to be regutted. The floors in the kitchen, counters, everything would have to be redone. But they were actually working on this property, so we were actually surprised. This one was listed, I believe, for $72,000 in its current condition. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And the after repair value of this one was listed up in like 120, 130, 140. But yeah, they had it listed for 72,000, and we're doing some work to it to kind of making it look a little bit nicer. Here you can see that they had painted, done the flooring in there. This one looked completely, this is probably the next one they're going to be working on. They're trying to get rid of this, make it fixed up and look nice. I saw here towards the side here that there was water building up on this window here, moisture, a little bit more mold spots here on the background, a lot of textures and such from kids that have been here. And then as I kind of went back towards the back, the smell in this home just began to get insane to the point where I could not handle it anymore. And I really just had to book it out of this home here. So I just it just hit me, and I just had to book it. So I turned off my camera and ran out of the home, back outside, had to take some deep breaths, because at that point I became so nauseous that, that was basically my day for the day. Just kind of hit that point. I just did not want to go anymore. But that was basically our sort of little adventure here. And then we did have a little screenshot here of the knob and tube. So this was in I believe the second property. We were looking at the electrical on this one, and it had some of the old style. We weren't sure if this had actually been disconnected or not. It looks like it does have a recent power meter here. So this could still be active, but that's always something you have to take into account. Put it into your estimates when you're doing numbers on, what it'll cost to rehab these. So you have to make sure that when you're making an offer and you're walking through these properties, you're kind of making notes. You're doing video notes. So I'm taking a video of the entire exterior up and down on the homes, making sure to look at the roof, the siding, the electric box, and then if see any of the plumbing inside of it. We didn't check underneath the sink on a lot of these, and then interior, what sort of work needs to be done? Does the flooring needs to get pulled up? Underwood, is it deteriorating? Is it not deteriorating? So we did not like any of the homes here that had mold. The only property that I actually thought was reasonable was that one that did have that addition in the back here. So not this, yeah, that's the specific one right here. I thought this one was actually not that bad. If you bought it at a really good deal, you went in there and fixed it up really nicely. It was actually in a pretty decent area next to a bike path and really close to just the downtown. You could walk about 5 minutes and you'd be right downtown in the bottom of the city. One of the colleges is right fairly close, about 5-10 minutes away from this. So it's very nice little area. So that is basically all I wanted to cover in today's video. So if you did enjoy the video, again, hit that thumbs up button below. I don't do a whole lot of these walkthroughs. I kind of walk through them and kind of look at them for myself and see if I need to make any offers. What do I need to make my offers at? I'm going through a refinance right now, so I'm not doing anything as far as transferring money in, transferring money out. I'm not making offers or doing new credit things because that'll affect your locking in dates and such. So that is basically it for today's video. If you have any questions, go over anything in today's video, drop it in the comment section below. If you do enjoy it, if you are brand new to the channel, have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. I do appreciate all your guys' feedback, and that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.